finally done. So welcome back to the channel, guys. So as you can see, I'm in a woodland. This was not really a planned camp. I wanted to get up to the Lake District, but I just didn't have time to do it. We are going on holiday next week. The kids get off school on Thursday, so this was kind of my last opportunity. So I just tried to get out here as quick as possible to get a camp in. I'm in a local woodland that I've been to before. I think about a year ago I did a winter hot tent camp here, so it's a pretty nice spot. I'm a little anxious for spring, so as you can see I brought the hammock. I did porch configuration because it's not supposed to rain, but I did feel a few drops. I just wanted to have it kind of covering me so I can watch the fire tonight, and I'll probably just bring it down when I'm going to bed. So tonight it's all about really just relaxing. So I do have something to cook, although I don't really have to prepare much. It's more about really kind of experimenting with the method that I'm going to cook tonight. So I'm actually going to go ahead and get that started now, because it's probably going to take a good 45 minutes. And then while that's cooking, we'll get firewood ready for tonight. So let's go ahead and get started. So as you can see, I've got the billy pot here, which is going to be used tonight with the firebox to actually do some baking. So it is bulky, but the nice thing is at least everything fits inside the pot, so it's pretty self-contained. So anyone who's seen my photo, if you're wondering why I was packing rocks for this trip, it's because I'm going to be using the billy can as a small oven. And these provide a good bit of thermal mass, which in my experience really helps evenly heat the oven. And I actually place a few rocks on the side, the second level of the platform that I'm going to be cooking on as well, to kind of move the heat up the sides. Okay, all ready to go. Alright, I'm going to begin heating up the oven. So, for dinner tonight, keeping it easy. This trip's all about relaxing as much as possible. So I'm not going to be cooking anything from scratch, but I will be testing out kind of a cooking method. I've actually used the billy can oven before, but I've only done it with things like cinnamon rolls and biscuits. So pretty simple stuff that doesn't take too long. But for tonight, when I'm feeling lazy at home, put something in the oven. So that's actually exactly what I'm going to do tonight. I just have a beef lasagna that already comes pre-made in a tin. So according to the directions, it says this is going to take about 30 minutes. From my experience doing this, at least with the biscuits and stuff, it usually takes a good 10 minutes longer. So I imagine this is probably going to take at least probably 45 minutes in order to actually do it. And this is actually already getting pretty hot. Alright, so one other thing that I'm going to do is actually wrap the base of this with a little of aluminum foil, and that'll just kind of help prevent any burning on the bottom. It's more important usually when you're baking like bread and stuff, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it with this because this is pretty thin, so I don't want to scorch anything. Alright, well, I've run into the first problem. Stones that I usually use on the side, this happens to be a little too wide, so I'm not going to be able to do that. Ooh. Alright, we're good to go. I've still got it on high heat because I was a little impatient. I didn't let the oven warm up completely. But once it's usually running at the highest heat, I'll put the simmer ring on in the open position like this just to kind of reduce it a little bit to maintain the heat inside. Yeah, so it's going to be about 45 minutes. So while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and collect firewood. Got about an hour before sunset. So I'm going to go ahead and collect enough so I can hang out at least a couple hours tonight by the fire. And hopefully, by the time we get the fire started, this should be done. Well, this definitely makes life quite a bit easier on the ground, but really perfectly dry, and considering the amount of rain we've been getting, that's pretty remarkable. Alright, if I drag this over, I think this and a few of the other pieces I've already collected should be plenty for tonight. I am incredibly pleased with that. I think that was the easiest wood collecting I've ever done. These are some great, really big, dry pieces of birch too, so it's going to burn really well. So yeah, I think I'm done with collecting firewood. I just got to cut some of it up and get the fire started. Alright, so the fire pit tonight, I'm not using the bush box. I'm actually going to use the fire safe from Wolf and Grizzly. I found a nice kind of little hole, so that should keep it nice and cool and not scorch the ground. But yeah, it'll allow me to have a nice big open style fire tonight. So it's been about 20 minutes and I can actually smell lasagna, so I figured it was a good enough time to come and check on it. Oh yeah, it's cooking nicely. So I'm going to actually take this off for a second and reduce the heat now. And I'm also going to take some stones. So using this little attachment that Steve sells on Firebox, man's an absolute genius. He usually does this with wood, and you can place coals on top. But what I've found works really well too is actually taking some of the stones now that they're extremely hot and actually placing them on top of the oven. And that will actually help to cook the top now as well. They are hot. Alright, now oven door goes back on. And now we wait for another, say, probably 15 minutes. This is kind of a limit of my knife length for batoning here. Look at that, nice and dry. Perfect wood. Now we got some birch bark to light. Nice. Alright, so maybe not the driest wood, but it's gotten there. So yeah, I've only got probably about 5 minutes more on the lasagna. I do have a small baguette. I'm going to just get a stick and set it up to kind of toast it by the fire. And then it'll be time to eat. If you're wondering why I'm not sitting in the hammock and I'm by the fire, it's because it's pretty chilly actually. Probably gonna have to put a puffy on pretty soon. Yeah, this is definitely not the kind of weather I typically hammock camp in. It's been actually fairly mild and even warm the past few days, aside from rain. Yeah, the only night I could go out was the one that it's gonna drop to near freezing. I doubt it'll actually do that in this woodland. I'll probably just hover around, I don't know, 1 or 2. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a chilly night. Well, my bread's definitely getting toasted. It's kind of nice having this fire safe. I want to say it's 11 inches by 11 inches, or almost a foot by a foot, which is a pretty significant difference from the bush box that I normally use, which is only around, I think, 5 inches across. So it's nice to actually have a safe open fire with this. Typically I would use just a colander when I'd want to have an open style fire, but it's nowhere near as big as this. So it's really, really nice. Alright, I think the lasagna should be ready. Let's see. Oh yeah, looks good. Yeah, I can see it bubbling on top, which is nice. Alright, I'll let that sit and cool. Let's go eat. Let's see how it is. Oh, look at that. Not burned on the bottom either. Let's see if it's cooked all the way through. Oh. Well, it's cooked through. Oh man, it burnt my tongue. Wow, yeah, it worked perfectly. It's not burnt on the bottom, and it is extremely hot. So that was probably on there around, I'd say about 50-55 minutes, so a little bit longer than I thought. But I was also just hanging out by the fire. Yeah, it didn't burn. Oh man, perfect. Let's get our bread. Oh, it's a little too hot to hold. It breaks them off. Fantastic lazy meal. And it's not that boil in the bag lasagna either. Granted, you know, it's a little bit of weight to carry the billy. That's a 14 centimeter billy pot. But everything to actually make this fit inside the pot, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, a nice lasagna. And I didn't really have to do anything. It's pretty nice to be able to just get the fire going and everything, which is now dying out. But get the fire going while I make dinner. Alright, gotta get some more wood. These birch branches burn a surprisingly long time. And I've got plenty big pieces to just chop up. Yeah, so super impressed with using the Trangia and stones instead of you know, trying to regulate a fire and then put coals on the top. With the Trangia, you can easily regulate the temperature at the bottom and change that midway through the cook. And then using the hot stones, which stay really hot for quite a while, you can actually then put it on top and cook the top through. So yeah, it worked incredibly well, and it's really hassle-free. I was just cutting wood and getting the fire going while it was cooking, so didn't really have to do all that much. It worked out perfectly. I'm definitely going to have to start, I'm definitely going to have to start experimenting with maybe baking a little bit more, since it worked so well. But actually making something next time. This was kind of just an experiment, so I didn't want to go through the hassle of actually making my own lasagna in case I completely burned it and destroyed it. And I just wanted to kind of relax and spend more time by the fire instead of prepping food. But, you know, worked well. Alright, well, I'm going to enjoy my dinner and yeah, just relax by the fire. I'll get back with you guys in just a little bit. Alright, dinner's all done. Sleep system's all set up. I got my porch ready, which is really nice when hammock camping because when you get out to pee, you have a nice place to just step on without having to put on your shoes completely.
think that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm just gonna lay here, watch fire die out, get some sleep. I've made the muntjacs angry. I got the fire going again, but I was breaking some branches over my knee, and the sound kind of set them off, so. Alright, I'll catch you guys in the morning. Good night. Alright, good morning, guys. So, got the coffee going. It is Monday morning, so I've really got to get a move on, get home so I can switch places with my wife and get the kids to school. So, not too much talking this morning, just caffeine, and then packing up. But, yeah, last night was good. It was really quiet. It got cold, not down to freezing, but definitely cold enough where I got, CBS, cold butt syndrome, in the hammock. So I actually slept with my puffy on, which kind of helped out a little bit. But yeah, it was a little bit chilly. But yeah, nice to get out in the hammock again. It is a really comfortable sleep. Alright, anyways, just gonna start packing up while I wait for the water to boil. Coffee steeps. Just gonna take care of the fire pit. It burned down to nothing but complete ash, which is kind of nice. But a lot of it. I had a pretty big fire going for quite a few hours last night. But I placed this over a hole so that I could dump the ash and cover it up a lot easier. Not too bad. It still folds up, so it didn't warp or anything. It's pretty good given how hot it was. those hours. This is why you still put water on it. I love that I can get the entire hammock system in the bottom of this bag. Leave no trace as always. This is where we had the fire pit, which you can't even tell anymore. And this is where we were hanging. Alright guys, I think that's going to do it for this camp. Hopefully you liked it. If you have any questions, just leave them down below. I am going on holiday next week with my family to Switzerland actually. So if you follow me on Instagram, hopefully there'll be some cool landscape shots and stuff like that. When we get back, I am planning on going to the Lake District for a proper mountain camp. If you have any questions, just leave them down below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Please like, share, get outside. Later.